Today we're diving into something tender, something that touches almost all of us at some point. How we feel about the way we look. This one's close to my heart because for many years I struggled with body dysmorphia. Yet the more I learned to look beyond the surface of who I am and release the unserving beliefs about the way I looked, the more I learned to accept my appearance. I began to feel at home in my body and to cherish this beautiful vessel I now live in. So today on I Love Me, the podcast, I invite you to consider that maybe, just maybe, loving your body unconditionally is possible for you as well.
Love, 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 I love me.
Simple, inspiring lessons in self-love. Hello, gorgeous. It's Tamra here. Today, I want to talk to you about something that impacts almost all of us, whether we talk about it openly or not. How we feel about the way we look. We live in a world that projects a very specific image of what it means to be pretty, good-looking, appealing to the eye, even acceptable. And this puts an enormous amount of pressure on us to look a certain way. There's never been a time like today where Botox, cosmetic surgery, makeup, filters, or fashion choices have been used so widely in a bid to enhance certain features, in a bid to help us look a certain way so that ultimately we can feel good about ourselves. But making physical changes to our body or using certain lighting or filters to make us appear different to how we actually are is missing one important point. Self-love doesn't come from making physical changes. Self-love comes from learning how to love and accept ourselves just the way we are. And that journey involves going inside and looking at our emotional stuff rather than going under the surgeon's knife. So while I'm not here to judge anyone for their choices they make about their bodies, what I will always encourage is this. Before you make any change to your appearance, take a moment to ask yourself, why? Why do I feel the need to change this? Where is this urge coming from? So often when I work with clients and we start peeling back the layers behind body dissatisfaction or appearance-altering decisions, we find deep beliefs like, I'm not enough, I'm not attractive, I'm too much, I'm not lovable. These beliefs are often so deeply embedded that we don't even realize they're running the show, but they are. I talk in depth about how our beliefs came about, how they work, and what's needed to release them in episode 2, Programmed for Love. I'll pop a link in the show notes. The thing is, no matter how much you change the outside, if those inner beliefs stay the same, the discomfort and discontent won't go away. The real root isn't in the mirror, it's in the mind. It's how you perceive yourself. I had one client who came to me to work on self-worth and self-acceptance. She'd already booked in to have a boob job the week later, believing that this physical enhancement would change how she felt about herself. She went ahead with the surgery, but found afterwards that this change in her breasts only made her dislike her body even more. So we spent the next 5 months as part of my one-on-one intensive clearing out the beliefs, perceptions, and deep emotions she held around her body and how she looked. And by the end of that time, she came into this loving relationship with her body where she no longer hated her appearance, but looked upon her body with pride and acceptance. Because when we're dealing with body dysmorphia, where we dislike our looks, it's rare that there is anything wrong with our actual body. Rather, the problem lies in how we think about our body. What I'm saying is that the problem is not your nose or your weight or your skin or your hairline. The problem is the thoughts you've attached to those things, the comparisons, the judgments, the stories. Somewhere along the way, you were taught what pretty looks like, what desirable means, what acceptable is, and you started measuring yourself against that without ever questioning who decided the measuring stick in the first place. So this is where we reclaim our power, because the truth is, every person is beautiful in their own way. Not in a cliche, brush it off way, but in a real cellular way. You were created exactly as you were meant to be. Your face, your body, your unique combination of features, expressions, curves, edges, all of it is sacred. All of it is enough. But to truly know that and feel that, you have to start questioning the inner dialogue. Ask yourself, what do I currently believe about how I look? Where did that belief come from? When did I first start thinking my body wasn't okay? Whose voice is that? And is it intrinsically true? Maybe you've been carrying around the belief that your thighs are too big. This was a biggie for me. Or your face isn't symmetrical, or your skin doesn't glow like the ones on Instagram. What you need to know is, beneath those critical thoughts are often 3 big, sneaky core beliefs. I'm not lovable, I'm not good enough, and the big doozy, I don't accept myself. I'll do a whole episode on what it means to come into acceptance of oneself and life next week. But what I want to highlight now is that with a belief system like that, all kinds of body hate and shame start to bloom. The important thing to understand, though, is these beliefs aren't fixed truths. They're just stories. They were planted somewhere along the way, and they can be unplanted. Just as we dig up our plants by the roots so they can't come back, so too can we dig up those beliefs so they no longer rain on our self-acceptance parade. In my one-on-one work, I use a powerful process, I call it self-love therapy, which clears out the root beliefs quickly and deeply. When those beliefs dissolve, people often describe feeling lighter, like a weight has been lifted off their shoulders so they can feel more at peace with their bodies, like they're finally breathing in their own skin again. And from there, love flows effortlessly. Let me share something personal. For years, I hated my nose. And I don't use the word hate lightly. I felt like it was too big, too present. I even got it pierced in my 20s in a bid to at least make it look prettier, as I was too scared to go under the knife to make it smaller. It wasn't until I looked into the roots of that belief, tracing it back to the first time I felt compared or shamed or unworthy, that I began to realize it had nothing to do with my nose. It was about feeling like I had to shrink who I was to be accepted. I also struggled with my weight, and it wasn't about my size. I was totally within a normal weight range. It was about unspoken competition with my mother, about old dynamics and unprocessed emotions. Once I saw that, sat with it, felt it, and released it, everything shifted. No longer did I feel like I was in battle with my body. No longer did weight creep on easily if I so much as looked at a chocolate bar. Instead, I came into a healthy relationship with food, with exercise, and most importantly, with my body, honoring it for all it does for me, how it moves me through life. Now I look upon my body and I can see its beauty. And for me, that is such a miracle given where I came from. So, how do you fall in love with the way you look? You start to feel beautiful not by changing the outside, but by clearing away the beliefs that told you you weren't. You honor your body as the temple that houses your spirit, not a project to be fixed, but a miracle to be lived in. Start today. Ask the questions. Get curious about your beliefs. Use whatever tools feel right to help you clear and shift them. And then look in the mirror, not to criticize, but to connect. To see yourself as the wise, powerful, radiant soul that you are. And know this: your beauty was never up for debate. It was never conditional. It's been there all along. And it's time to fall in love, not with an image, but with your true self. If you'd like support in stripping away the layers of conditioning, the beliefs and perceptions and stories that are keeping you from loving your body, my one-on-one intensive, where I work with you over 5 months, is the perfect vehicle to take you there. Every person I work with has a completely new relationship with themselves by the end of this program. I'll pop a link in the show notes so you can check out all the details. In the meantime, I encourage you to sign up for the free Self-Love Starters Kit on my website, gettingnaked.com.au. This is a really beautiful mini course for developing foundational practices that support you in coming home to your body, so you can begin the beautiful journey of learning how to love yourself from the inside out.
I love me.